Well, hello, Man in the Box users. This is Henry Clark, Henry Clark's channel. Again, I always say, please subscribe if you like what I do. And I also appreciate you guys' comments, right? I think I appreciate the comments a whole lot. Kind of gives me motivation and inspiration to keep doing some of these videos, you know. But in this particular episode, what I'm going to do is I want to talk about doing a cover of your own song, right? Doing a cover of a song you already wrote. And what I mean by that is that sometimes you can find some new stuff, just by doing a cover of your own song instead of always doing a cover of somebody else's song. You know, so a couple of months ago, I did a cover. I did a song. It was a soupy ballad, right? Really soupy ballad, right? I was like, okay, I finished it. It was okay, and I listened to it, right? I was listening to it the other day, and I went, this might be a good reggae song. I'd like to try it as a reggae song and see what it comes out like. And I was pleasantly surprised with the results. And this is where Band in the Box really shined at, because what happened is that because I wrote the song in Band in the Box, it allowed me to put a reggae style against the existing song and gave me an idea of what it may sound like as a reggae song. And again, I think you'll be pleased with the results of doing something like this. And I suggest you try this on some of your own songs. And again, do a cover of your own song instead of always trying to do a cover of somebody else's song. But anyway, so again, and also again, you learn stuff, kiss those little gray cells, those little gray cells, as Pyro would say, kiss those gray cells moving for you. so that's what this episode is about doing your own song, doing a cover of your own song. And also, again, I'm extensive use of a DAW. We're always talking about trying to get a commercial sound. You may go to YouTube and see a video as a guy says, well, I did this commercial sound on my Mac or whatever, right? Using GarageBand. Well, you know what? You can get a good sound, but it has limitations. Everything has limitations, and that's why if you look at people who are doing stuff on PCs, then you go and you look and you see, why do you think they have these $1 million studios? They got these $1 million studios because that's what it takes to produce some of this stuff that you hear. That's why they have it. It's not sitting there for nothing. It's not sitting there charging $1,000 an hour for nothing, right? It produces a sound. The studio in itself can produce a sound that is commercial, that is uplifting, and so on and so forth. So we do the best we can, and we also set realistic expectations on what we produce. I know that's one of my key goals, is always to have a realistic expectation of things that I put out based on the equipment that is actually available to me. But anyway, it doesn't matter the type of music that you do, right? But again, this episode is about helping you do your own song, covering your own song in a different way that you may not have thought of before. So I'm gonna head on over to Band in the Box, and I'm gonna fire up this soupy ballad, if it don't put you to sleep, and put a little bit of Yaman, put a little reggae into it, and hopefully you like the results. Okay, so be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So again, our goal today is what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take and I'm gonna cover my own song now, which is a super ballad, right? And I don't know, I just call it super. I just like the term super ballad. I don't know. Anyway, I want to do a ballad, right? And so I did it, and I created it in Band in a Box, right? So again, and it kind of went like this as far as Band in a Box goes, right? This is kind of how the song went in Band in a Box. Basically, this is how the song went in Band in a Box, because I did add some elements, right? So I've got my bass, I've got my guitar, like a guitar, funk guitar, I've got drums, I've got another guitar, right? Background guitar, I've got strings, I've got an organ, I've got all kind of stuff going on here, right? So that's kind of how the song was going in Band in the Box, right? And again, so that's where the verse started. The verse started here. What I'm gonna do since you say goodbye. Say it background, say goodbye. Then the lead comes back in. What I'm gonna say. So that's kind of how the song went, right? And again, that was a song as a soupy ballad. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do real quick is I'll bring it up in my Sonar just to kind of give you an idea what it sounded like. So this is what it sounded like in Sonar, right? When I had it all mixed down and everything, had all my little elements in, right? I've got bass guitar, drums, another guitar, strings, organ, and all these background vocals that I did, and another organ and all these background vocals that I did at the time, because I was like a big fan of background. I'm still a fan of background vocals, right? And this is another reason why I use a DAW, a separate DAW, because I've got more tracks, I've got more stuff I can play around with. So again, just to start it from, I'm just gonna start it right from here. What did I do? I just took and I just did a DAW drag, right? I just took the Band in a Box files dragged them over into Sonar through the DAW integration tool, started playing around with them. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that, right? It's Saturday afternoon, and we're not going to sleep here, right? It's kind of soupy, you know. Actually, I like it, but it's still on the soupy side, right? So again, so I said, okay, I like it. So I like it, but I wanted something different. So what I did was I said, what would this sound like? You know, and I don't know how it came to my mind, but I said, how would this sound like as a reggae song? Again, this is the same song. This is a song I wrote called What I'm Gonna Do. I didn't change the lyrics. I just changed the overall feel of the song. So I said, what would it sound like in a reggae song? I went to my styles and my style picker. And I did a drop down here. Notice I did a filter on reggae, right? So I said, what would it sound like with reggae, right? Well, I wanted kind of like not the old school reggae. I wanted kind of like a pop reggae type of sound, just a pop reggae type of sound. So for me, that meant I wanted that ska because I love that chink, 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 chink. I wanted that type of guitar, right? So I tried to audition it, and I can audition that chord pattern against any style. So I'm going to audition a chord pattern against a reggae style. So I said, okay, well, let me find a reggae style I like, right? So I picked this one here, because I'm not going to go through all of them, right? I could have picked any of them, right? But I picked this one here, which was called Rude Boy, right? And I played it against the style. And this is what it sounded like. And I'm going to say, I like that the ska cut. Now, granted, the tempo's too fast, but I do like the way that it flows. So that's how I'm going, okay, that's how the song would sound in reggae, right? So let me play around with it in reggae a little bit, right? So again, so I went on and I loaded it up. And I'm going to take you through that to take just to save time, right? I loaded it up in a reggae style. So I loaded it up in a reggae style, and this is a song in a reggae style. So I said, I'm going to take it and put it in a reggae style. So I put it in a reggae style. I don't need to change that. I put it in a reggae style. And of course, you know me, if you've seen any of my videos, right, I also add a lot of instruments. I love adding instruments, right? I think I added another guitar. I added an organ solo. I added a wah-wah guitar with it. I added a ska guitar with it and piano. I added, again, I'm just famous for adding stuff, right? This is just one pattern here that I'm going to show you. So what I did was, remember when I did the pattern, it was at 100 BPMs, right? So I say, okay, I want this in a ska pattern, but I'm going to take it down to 82. So I took it down to 82 BPMs, and I put some accents in here, and the accents were only to help me figure out where my breaks might be, right? Because I'm not going to use these. When I transfer over to my DAW, one thing I do when I transfer over to my DAW is I take all of the accents off, and I take everything here, and I bring them up to about 100 is what I do when I do that. Whenever I finish how I want it arranged, and that's exactly what I do. But for right now, just to get a feel, playing around in Bandit Box, what the song might sound like, right? So I'm playing around with the bar settings, right? I'm bringing instruments in, I'm taking instruments out. I'm doing all of those type of maneuvers, if you want to call it that, right? To just try to get a feel for what I might want to do with this song. And again, in this particular song here, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to do this in reggae, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute the bass, the piano, the guitar, the organ, and the other organ. And the reason why I did it is because this is reggae, and reggae is kind of dependent on the beat and that ska riff, right? So when you hear it now, and I didn't want that standard reggae drums. I definitely want those steel drums. I want a pop reggae type of song. So what I did was I went in and I created a skeleton pattern of how I think the song would sound. So now the song sounds like this. Just drums, and I'm just starting out just drums and that ska pattern. Just that ska guitar and drums. I started singing at this point. And okay, same thing. What are you gonna do when you say goodbye? Right? And I'm just kind of running through it. Just trying to get an overall feel of what it would sound like. Just what it would sound like. I'm going to use the exact same words, so nothing has changed. I'm basically using a melody that's being driven by the reggae beat. Now I know it may sound a little low key, it may sound a little boring right now. We're gonna fix that though, because I'm gonna fix that in the DAW. But that's how the song would sound in the reggae. So again, that's the song in reggae. And I'm gonna give it to you the song again. I'm gonna give you the song in soul. I just call it, give you the song in soul is what I'm gonna call it. So if I give you the song, I gave you the song in reggae. So now I'm trying to find it real quick, right? So now I'm gonna give you the song in soul. And this is the song in soul. Same song, different key, but same song. And this is the song in soul. See, that's more soulful than the reggae pattern was, right? So that's what I did. So again, I took my song, my soul song that I wrote, and I'm gonna do a cover of my soul song. So I'm gonna drag the reggae over into my DAW, like I dragged the soul over to my DAW, and I started playing around with it, right? So now I'm gonna take this down now. So again, how did that come out in reggae? Remember, this is how the song sounds in soul. This is the soul version of the song. So that's the song in soul. So now I said, okay, I wanted to play around, like I said, I wanted to play around with this reggae thing, right? Because that was I just wanted to do it in reggae, right? So again, now I'm doing it in reggae. Now here we go again. I'm not gonna get into what real band can do. I'm just gonna tell you what I can do in my Sonar because I have more plugins at my disposal, and I'm trying to make this a pop reggae type of song. So one of the things that I had to do is for my drums. I needed to spruce up my drums. My drums were kind of flat. So for my drums, I wanted to make sure my drums were more upbeat. So this is my drums now. And they have a percussion module, a percussion plug-in in Sonar that I can play around with the actual drum sounds a bit more. And I love hi-hat. I want that hi-hat standing out. And here's another thing that I can do that I can't do, that I'm not sure I can do in real band, is that I also had my own hi-hat pattern that I wanted to play around with because I love the hi-hat, right? So I had a separate hi-hat pattern altogether. So just what I got from another sample actually, right? And I wanted this hi-hat pattern in here. And that's because I just wanted that busy sound, right? So that was a busy sound. And also what I wanted to do is that ska guitar that you hear, the ska guitar, if you listen to it live, that's the ska guitar pattern there, right? But what I wanted to have some reverb to it because if it was flat, it just didn't have the same emphasis to me, right? So I put a reverb on the ska pattern. Let me see if I can find the ska pattern really quickly here. I don't want to be too long in there, right? But I have a reverb plugin here that I have on the ska, just on the ska pattern itself, right? Because I wanted that to be there. Oh, let me pick that back out. I don't want to go the whole thing yet. So that's my ska pattern. So I played around with that to add a little bit of reverb to the ska guitar because I wanted that sound to carry. And when I open a song up, it's going to be a bit more empty, right? So again, I wanted all of those types of elements going on at the same time. So again, if I do my ska pattern, that's my ska pattern. Again, I put some reverb on it, right? Just so it will cover more space. Because I'm only gonna open the song up with drums and the ska pattern. That is all I'm using to open the song up with. So now, because of the fact that I spruced the drums up and I spruced up the ska reggae guitar, right? So now my drums have more depth. That ska pattern is another background guitar I have in here, right? So now I did all of those things. Now, what did I do with my voice, right? So my voice, I'm a little loud on this one here, right? So what I decided to do with my voice is I decided to do a little bit of auto-tune on my voice because I want a little warble, you want to call it a little warble in certain places. So I wanted that, and I've got a lead vocal, and I've got some lead vocal plugins, right? So I've got a lead vocal plugin. And again, I use auto-tune. I don't use Melodyne. I use auto-tune, and I use auto-tune live because I wanted to catch it. I want to catch it on the fly. So again, now when I come out of the box, right, the song, I've got a little bit more emphasis. And if you notice my vocal now, Is it reverby? Yes, because I wanted that sound. That is the sound I'm after. I also wanted to have a break before the rest of the band came in. I wanted to open the song up with that kick drum, try to get people's head nodding right off the bat, and before I brought the rest of the band in, which is what you would do, especially if you were doing a live performance, right? Matter of fact, if you were doing a live performance, you might do that for 16 bars or so, right? So anyway, so I'm getting ready to bring the rest of the band in with my background vocals, the whole 9 yards. And I like that a whole lot better. I hope you like it too, right? But I like that much better than what I did in this Sufi Valley. Same song, exact same song. That's how you can take and you can do a cover of your own song. Now you'll hear more auto-tune as I move into the second verse because I wanted a bit of more warble, like I said. It's not on that part. That's me. You hear that note way that you hear that way that's the auto-tune kicking in. And that's exactly, I wanted that, right? The other thing, the last thing I put in here is what I wanted is I didn't want kettle drums, but I wanted a sound that you might hear in a reggae concert. I put it like that, or a reggae tune, right? So I wanted an organ solo in the song. And I wanted the organs. I said, I don't want to use, like I said, I don't want to use steel drums or nothing like that. So I said, I'll just use an organ solo, right? Which actually fitted in here pretty nicely. So again, this organ solo came up. I got my ska pattern in reggae. My drums are busy. I like that. My drums are busy. Those are the elements that I felt would be a nice reggae pop type tune. Still got my background vocals there. So that's how I did it. I don't want to play the whole song for you, right? As a matter of fact, it's probably going to be released soon. But again, I just wanted to show you guys how I went through taking a song, my own song, covering my own song a different way. So again, remember, the song started out when I wrote the song originally, right? The song started out and it sounded like this. And now the song sounds like this. So now I can do all of these neat little tricks, right? And again, and to me, it also sounds a bit more commercial. But again, my goal today was to show you all just really quickly, because I didn't want to spend like 20 minutes or whatever, but to show you how you can take your original song that you wrote. Your chords are already there. You know what the melody is like because you wrote it. So now you can take that song and you can apply that song. And maybe if I wanted, I could have done it in country. I could have done it in smooth jazz. I could have done it in any of those patterns, right? But the nice part is that if I have a band in a box at my disposal, right, I can quote unquote audition it. I can audition that style against other types of styles and see if it fits overall. So again, that's what I did here. I took my cover of my soupy ballad is what I call it, right? And I decided to make a reggae tune out of it. And I am satisfied with the results. I hope you guys like what I showed you today. I didn't show you a lot about, super techniques, but again, it's the same thing that I consistently do is I audition a style. I go and I find um, instruments that I feel would fall into the category of that style and work with that style. I merge them all together. I happen to use a DAW. I'm a DAW fan. I happen to use a DAW. I'll make duplicates of the song with the different patterns against it, drag it over to my DAW, and I just cut, paste, edit, cut, paste, right? And then I add my vocals on top of it. So again, hope this helps. And also, I was hoping that I would give you guys some ideas on how to grow your music and grow what you do. And again, you can use Band in a Box as a tool to do that. Okay. See you next time. Again, comments always welcome. Thanks. Bye.